Something strange was happening in Washington state. Between the 1970s and 1990s, one killer after another seemed to appear, hunting, vanishing, overlapping, like the state itself was drawing them in. As the disappearances spread, it became clear that something, or someone, was behind it.
No.
And that's where our story begins, with Ted Bundy. Before Washington ever knew his name, he grew up in Tacoma, only blocks away from one of the state's coldest disappearances, dating back to 1961, Ann Marie Burt. Bundy would have been 14 years old. He always denied hurting her, but years later, he admitted there were murders he'd never confessed to because they were too close to home, too close to people he once loved. February 1974. Linda Ann Healy, a senior at the University of Washington, disappeared from her basement room while her roommates slept. The door was locked, the bed was made, and a dark mark stained her pillow, as if someone had quietly stepped in and out without leaving a trace. Weeks later, Donna Manson disappeared walking to a concert in Olympia. Susan Rancourt vanished after a late campus meeting in Ellensburg. Brenda Ball last seen leaving a tavern. Jorgen Hawkins taken near her sorority house. By summer, panic had spread. Then two women, Janice Ott and Denise Nasland, vanished within hours from Lake Sammamish. Witnesses remembered a man going person to person, asking for help with a sailboat. Friendly, polite, a tan Volkswagen Beetle. His name was Ted. In the woods east of Seattle, searchers found what families feared, hidden beneath the leaves. By the time Ted Bundy fled Washington, at least 8 young women were gone. In Utah, a survivor picked him out of a lineup. He escaped twice, and his killing finally ended in Florida.
One thing, since the publication
but the nightmare the state thought had ended
there have been no
wasn't
further
over.
disappearances from this
The
area.
remains of another human body buried on a wooded hillside near Seattle.
Gary Ridgway, the man who would become known as the Green River Killer. Nearly 8 years after Bundy's arrest, bodies began turning up in the Green River just south of Seattle. The first was 16-year-old Wendy Lee Caulfield, found in July of 1982. Within weeks, more victims appeared, all young women, many last seen along Pacific Highway South. Bodies kept appearing for years, through the mid-'80s and even again in the '90s. Detectives searched for decades, but evidence was limited, and the case kept slipping away. Seattle was terrified. Protests broke out, demanding answers as the Green River case dragged on. In the early 2000s, new DNA tests finally led detectives to Gary Ridgway. He was arrested in 2001 and later confessed to 71 victims, one of the largest case totals ever recorded. And long before Ridgway ever saw the inside of a courtroom, another predator was stalking Washington, hidden in Bellevue's nightlife. George Russell Jr. in 1990. Women in Bellevue began turning up dead inside their apartments, each one found with no forced entry, no signs of a struggle. What investigators walked into wasn't just murder. It was a disturbed mind on display. The scene was staged. Objects moved, even the body positioned on purpose. It was designed to unsettle anyone who saw it. As detectives searched for a connection, Russell slipped up trying to break into another home. The woman called 911. Police found him nearby with items from the victims. That's when everything came together. Russell's spree ended, but Washington's danger didn't. Another killer had already struck once, and years later, he came
Spokane
back.
serial killer Robert Yates will be staying on death row.
Robert Lee Yates, a quiet family man in Spokane, was hiding a much darker life. His earliest known murders go back to 1975. A college couple found shot near Mill Creek in Walla Walla. The case went cold for decades. For years, there were no answers. Then in the mid-'90s, Yates came back. Victims began appearing around Spokane, then even in Tacoma. One of the first was Melody Murfin. Then detectives noticed a disturbing pattern. Several victims had plastic grocery bags placed over their heads. For the first time, the cases looked connected. Just like the Green River case, DNA testing finally caught up with the killer. Police had taken a routine DNA sample from Yates during a traffic stop, and it matched one of the Spokane victims. After that, detectives went back and seized a vehicle Yates had recently sold. Inside, they found biological traces that strengthened the case even more. When Yates was caught, detectives reopened the 1975 murders. The ballistics matched his weapon, and Patrick was reportedly the only male victim he ever targeted. Yates' case may have ended in Spokane, but other predators were still passing through Washington: the I-5 killer, the Happy Face killer, even Israel Keyes. Washington became vulnerable. Slow DNA testing, poor communication between counties, and highways that let predators move unnoticed. Even Longview hides its own horrors, like Joseph Kondro, a predator so manipulative and disturbing that most people won't even talk about his crimes. Some killers lived here, some just passed through. But over the years, Washington saw far too many of them, and far too many lives were stolen in the process. So tell me, what is it about Washington that keeps attracting killers?